All right, Scorpios, let's go ahead and get started. We'll pull these in a moment. Let's start here with this first. I have, this is interesting. I specifically chose to do your reading. I'm going to tell you a little story very quickly. I specifically chose to do the Scorpio reading right now because I'm in the midst, right, or in the middle of two Scorpios that are dealing with the same issue. They're on either sides of the argument. However, they are handling things completely differently. And so, because today is the Pisces full moon, emotions are flaring. Emotions are flaring. And there's all sorts of attention to detail. There's high stress level, high emotions. And I just thought it was so fascinating because calls are bouncing back and forth. And I just thought it was so fascinating how differently each person is dealing with these heightened state of emotions. So it is of no surprise that this Nine of Swords has popped up, actually. And I would love to know both of their rising and moon placements, but probably won't be getting that. But I just, it's very telling and it's very interesting to look at it from that angle. So I specifically chose to do this reading for them. They don't even know I'm doing. They don't even know I do this, but for them, and to offer maybe some additional guidance for myself. Okay, so yes, the Nine of Swords, heightened emotions, spinning thoughts, rumination. Nobody likes to feel like this. It's not fun. We've all been here before. If you continue to go down that rabbit hole and continue to let your mind spin, then yes, it can turn into extreme anxiety and some depressive states. So understand, dear, dear, dear Scorpio, that you are being heavily impacted by this Pisces full moon. And before pulling out your Mars card, right, your warlike ruler of or god of war Mars aspect to your sign, take a minute and breathe, sleep on it through the weekend, and figure out a way to respond instead of reacting emotionally. What's next? Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands reversed. So there is not a lot of quick communication. Now, this could indicate that there's long communication. There's not going to be short distance travel. And frankly, it's probably the communication that does come through is not going to be a communication that makes you feel safe or it's like it's not going to be positive communication. So there's a little bit of jerkiness, like you're going to feel a little jerked around. You're going to feel a little pushed around. You're going to feel like a lot of responsibility in terms of how and why this communication is coming towards you at this time. And then frankly, also, if there is no communication coming, then that's also going to enhance this Nine of Swords energy that you have occurring as well. Okay, so here with this Nine of Swords, what's interesting about this card is we have these two towers that sit on the also they're actually placed in various places in the tarot deck. There's always one white one and one black one, and usually the black is on the left and the white is on the right. But the purpose of this card and the reason why the artist did this, made these opposite, is because when we are in a state of mind, a mind state like this, it is very easy, not welcomed, but actually easy to shift our mindset and look at it from the other side. So she strategically made these as if we were out in the ocean looking in on the scenario or in on the storyline, instead of being in towards the city looking out on the emotional state, the emotion of the ocean and the crashing waves and the white capped waves, right, crashing up onto the rocks. we can look at it from different states. So it's very important, before you communicate, pause and try to see the other side, and vice versa. It will bode you well, at least over the next few days. And then as we move into Libra season, we will see a balancing out, and it will feel better. Page of Pentacles. This does have to do with communication, slowing down communication, getting down to the communicating about what's important. And I say that because here in this deck, there's a babe, it's representative of a sleeping child. And when we're talking about communication, when we're talking about heightened emotions, when we're talking about appropriate and inappropriate responses and reactions, and timing of reactions and responses, it slowing down and having things having the communication come from a very well thought out place, not from an emotional place, will cause you to focus on what the goal is, what's the important piece you're trying to develop and grow, and only focusing on that type of communication. This is a very important card, and this is personally so interesting to me right now, because I literally just had these communications 10 minutes ago, and I might get a call back and I have to stop the reading. So we will see. But, in the extended, we're going to pull cards on these now, but in the extended, we'll spend quite a bit of time on these. Let's see what's next. The Emperor, representative of Aries, and also your fellow Mars ruling sign. Aries is also ruled by Mars, as are you. So when the Emperor is reversed, he feels out of control. He feels like he has lost his purpose. There is anger, and there is a great deal of loss of focus. And so let me try to put this in the middle here. And so, yes, if emotions are running high and we have this need to communicate in a certain way, but it's not occurring that way, it will cause the situation to kind of break down, and then confusion will develop. Anger will develop. Rage can develop. So staying focused on the end goal and what's trying to occur is really the most important part. Communicating from this realm will not get you where you want to go. Communicating from bringing it all back to the basics. And I say that because babies are new and they're fresh, and they have to grow in a chronological, methodical way. And it takes time, and it's slow, and it requires teaching, and it requires communicating on a base level with all of the without all of the other, stuff, words that we can put into place. So he's even facing this. The need for this type of communication is so important right now that it will be the end-all be-all determining factor of the result that you're trying to get. And you, dear Scorpio, or if you're cross-watching and you're, maybe an earth sign or a fire sign, however this communication takes place from you and to you is the determining factor of the outcome. And you can choose, but you have to focus on what the goal is. Okay, and then we have the Two of Wands. There is a choice. You feel a little stifled right now. So the Two of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite deck is the man, and he is sitting or standing. Excuse me. And he has his two wands, and he's a little lonely, and he knows where he's been, he knows where he wants to go, but he doesn't necessarily want to go there alone, right? The capability is that he can go anywhere. The promise is that he can go anywhere, and it's the same thing where he's holding the world in his hand, the globe in his hand. So the possibility is there. But kind of stuck in this middle place right now. And kind of the subcontext of that card is because he doesn't really want to go about this journey alone. He or she has gotten themselves to a place and then looking for someone to kind of come with or direct even. So we have a lot of clarifiers to pull. That's all I have to say. So let's get started. Again, these are pre-shuffled, so I am going to the Magician reversed. Staying in this state will be self-sabotage. To the outside world, it will actually appear as if there is a great deal, and there actually could be a great deal of manipulation at play. But we have to remember that choice is there. The choice to stay in this state of mind is there. The choice to act or react in this manner is there. But if you're feeling this imposition that there is manipulation occurring to you, your reaction still is everything. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Okay, so Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a beautiful card. It talks about support. It talks about victory. So the victory is going to come for you, dear Scorpio. The victory is going to come with how you respond, and pausing and not responding quickly is going to get you everywhere. Okay, it's going to get you to where you're trying to go with this situation. Page of Pentacles clarified by the Ten of Swords reversed. Again, how the communication takes place and at what pace the communication takes place will relieve a great deal of suffering and stress. How interesting is this whole message? The Emperor reversed, clarified by the Ace of Swords reversed. So, oh no, one of my candles is probably going to go out. So, with Mars being your ruling planet, you like immediate action. You like feeling as though you can do something to cause a result. And yes, but what you need to realize is, or they, okay, if you're cross-watching, what they need to realize is that non-action is the same as action. Silence is the same as communication. So pushing, forcing is going to get you a very different result than not pushing and not focusing. Thinking before you speak is going to get you a much better result than speaking while you're emoting. Okay? They are not mutually exclusive. They are the same thing. But for a Mars-ruled planet, energy, you have a tendency, just like I do because I'm Aries, you have a tendency to feel as if you have to go and do and go and do and go and do, but not doing is also an action. Okay, so by acting on emotions before thinking and speaking, acting on emotions is going to cause even more confusion and more stress. Okay, it will cause a lot more emotion. I mean, a lot more confusion. Ace of Swords reversed. And this sword is sharp and it cuts deep. Do you really want to be in a place that is confusing when you could have easily mitigated that whole thing? Okay? Two of Wands clarified by the Ace of Wands. Yes. Okay? Yes, you can take action, but be careful what the action is. Yes, you can be positive. Yes, you can go and do. Yes, you can initiate. Yes, you can start something new, but from a positive stance. Reacting from this place, not a good reaction, not a good time to respond. Stopping and thinking and calming things down first, much better responses will be given to you. reacting and communicating, taking action from this mental state, this state of mind, not going to get you where you want to go. It will actually worsen the situation. Slowing down, thinking will actually lighten up this heavy pit in your stomach. It will relieve that. So what I love about the Two of Wands is he actually is pausing. He actually does stop and look at what has gotten him to this point, and he's looking at where he wants to be. He's recognizing his own capabilities, but he is pausing before moving forward. So he can move forward with positivity and support also with the Six of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to clarify these a lot. There's a lot we have to talk about here. That's all going to be in the extended private reading. That link is below as well if you'd like that. Before we do that, though, however, let's look at the bottom of the deck for the overall energy. Three of Swords reversed. Okay. This is a situation that, most importantly, is not as bad as you feel like it is right now. You are feeling taken advantage of. You are feeling lied to. You are feeling deceived. And you're letting your thoughts, you're running away with your thoughts. But the reality of the situation is that it's not as bad as you are assuming that it is right now. Okay, so let's also look underneath that card, and we have the Five of Swords. Okay, so if you proceed with this battle, this is the Five of Swords. If you proceed in this battle with this mindset and speaking before you think, it will not only worsen the situation, it will make it so everybody loses. That is a lose-lose situation. This is a lose-lose situation. And remember, it's not as bad as you think it is. So be very cautious how you react. Be very careful how you react to your own state of mind. Because stopping and pausing and thinking clearly and giving it time, right? Earth signs move very slowly, right? It's annoying sometimes. It's like, why does it have to take so long? But it's because they are really considering everything, and they're really sleeping on it, and they're making sure that they're eating well so their mind is thinking clearly, right? They're hydrated so they're not, their physical state isn't impacting their mental state. Okay, so really, 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 that will lessen all this sort of pain. Not communicating will get you the support that you're needing. It will get you the support that you want, and it will cause this to be a victory. Communicating and acting in a rash manner will cause confusion and cause this to be worse than it actually is, and cause it to be a lose-lose situation. Be careful. Okay? You will be left out in the cold, Five of Pentacles, and it will be a lose-lose situation. So be very careful how you respond and react right now.